If your lower back hurts, but you don't really have like a specific injury to point to, a lot of the times it's not necessarily your lower back and your hips that is the main culprit. It's the relationship between your hips and your ribs. When your hips and your ribs are working in unison together, it keeps your lower back nice and healthy. But when they're off, things tend to tilt, your hips tend to tilt forward, your ribs flare up, and that puts a lot of excess stress on your lumbar spine. So basically, like, you know, when you see the Instagram models and they're all flared like that, their ribs are up, their hips are back, and that they're trying to make their butt look bigger, obviously. But that puts a lot of stress on the lumbar spine, and a lot of us are in that position on a day-to-day basis for various reasons: tight hip flexors, lack of movement in our daily life. But a simple drill that you can use is kind of like this Deadbug variation to teach your ribs and your hips to stay close to each other and how to move. So all you're going to do is you're going to lay flat on your back like this. You're going to make sure your lower back is driving into the ground. You're going to lift your feet up, have your knees at 90 degrees. We're going to take our arms, we're going to lift them up to the ceiling. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to lift our head and our upper back off the ground. You're going to feel like a really strong crunch sensation in those upper abs. But what's also going to happen is your hips and your ribs are going to naturally pull towards each other. So as you hold this position, keeping your knees at 90 degrees, you want to focus on driving that lower back into the ground and lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. From here, we can just do two things. You can either drop down and kind of do reps like that, like a Deadbug sit-up, or we can come into a modified version of a Deadbug where we lift up like that, hold this position, drop opposite limbs to the ground, making ourselves as long as possible every rep, and then coming back, again, while maintaining that hip to rib position. So those two simple drills will really train your abdomen, your hips, and all sorts of other stuff to stay close together to beat lower back pain.